This year's Labor Day Classic will be a massive mix of football and music, presented by WeatherTech. It all starts with Born in the 80s jamming on the Stipley stage during pregame. Then, Dwayne Gretzky will perform during halftime and provide an hour-long concert after the game. Plus, we're now offering the Labor Day Plus 2-pack. You can get tickets to the Labor Day Classic and any 2 games remaining on the schedule for one low price. Get your tickets now by going to ticats.ca/tickets or call 905-547-CATS.
From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Stephen and Simoni Lawrence.
Welcome to Tiger Cats Game Day on the Ticats Audio Network. It is finally here, September 2nd at 2:30 Eastern. This afternoon, it is the black and gold versus the double blue. It's the game of the year. Simoni Lawrence, this is Labor Day. How are you feeling today?
I feel great. You see, I ain't got the Snuggie up. I'm up early in the morning giving this to the fans this today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the Snuggie on because I'm proud of the boys. I told you last week, as long as I see the boys play more physical, I'll be happy. Should we have won the game last week? Abso-freaking-lutely. But we did not. But we looked way more tougher. I was happy about that. But it's Labor Day. I got the chills. Somebody just knocked on my door and said, "Simoni, it's Labor Day." I was like, "Yo, how you find out where I live?" It's like, "Everybody knows where you are. You have a tracker inside of your body." I was like, "Damn, bro, that's crazy." Yeah, bro. Everybody pumped for Labor Day. It's the classic, baby.
Yeah, you know, it's nice and early, but the tailgate starts early. All day is Labor Day. All weekend is Labor Day weekend. So, you know, it's going to be big and popping at the stadium. Tim Hortons Field. Get there nice and early and make sure that you do not delay. If you haven't gotten your tickets, it's not too late. This is going to be the game of the year for the Ticats. So, Argos coming to town is really not too much that you have to tell somebody to get them excited for this game. If you're not up for this already, you got to really look in the mirror and ask yourself if you're in the right line of work. But coming into this game, did you really need any pep talks? Did you need people to give you a backstory on how big the game is? Or how did you approach Labor Day as a player?
Look, I'm one of those, first thing you do when you get someplace to a new city, you understand what's going on. Who do we love and who do we hate? So that's the first thing you understand. You see, oh my gosh, everybody doesn't like these guys in blue. What? They even made a whole day? Labor Day? And they call it a classic? And we're playing the people that we don't like on this big special day where the best sporting event in the whole entire country is going on? You have Labor Day games from all around the world. You got the Winnipeg Blow Bombers playing Saskatchewan. They hate each other. Ding, ding. You got the Hamilton Tiger Cats playing the Toronto Argonauts on Labor Day. You don't got to tell me nothing, Courtney. I done heard it all week. I done heard it all year. I done been told, yo, as long as you guys win that Labor Day game, y'all can have all my money. I don't even care. You win Labor Day, you can have all the money I got. I never needed to get waking up on Labor Day, Courtney. Fun fact, bro. Throughout Labor Day, man, I done played, 9 Labor Day games? No, I played 8 Labor Day games. I'm 7-1, bro. I lost 1 Labor Day game. You don't got to wake me up, bro. And we done been in trench fights. I know y'all remember 2019 when Tunde got kicked out the game, Frankie got kicked out the game. And you know what? 2 starters on defensive back get kicked out the game where it's down 27-11 in 2019. You get 2 people kicked out on a roster like this in the CFL, you're in bad shape. You're not supposed to win those kind of games. What did we do? We pulled up our socks and we won that game. Another classic, Courtney. You remember that thing called COVID-19? Shut down football, bro. They kept the dogs in the cage for a very long time. Long time. No football in Hamilton, Courtney. No football in Hamilton for over a year. And not only that, the first home game was Labor Day against the Toronto Argonauts. Yes, I said their name. You know why I said their name? Because we shut that name out in 2021. This is where you see how hungry people really is. The Toronto Argonauts come in the game confident. They ain't play football in a year, too. But the Hamilton Tiger Cats, we come in a different kind of confidence. We ain't play a home game since the Eastern Final in 2019. What? Can you say 13th man? Because I'll tell you one thing about Labor Day games, them fans give you an extra boost. It is loud, aggressive, nasty. So you don't need no extra motivation. The fans got you, and all you got to do is have yourself on Labor Day. Take care of your business, walk into the back alley, and everybody win they one-on-ones, Courtney.
That's it. When you're one-on-one battles, there's going to be a whole lot of gladiators on the field ready to make the plays that'll put their names in lights. I mean, Simoni, there's games and there's moments. There's plays and there's moments. We were talking about this before we press record, but sometimes it's the routine play at the right moment that makes a big moment. That's something people remember forever. It's the touchdown, the open field tackle, the interception, the forced fumble, whatever it may be. But on this stage, it's those plays, and we're going to see which players rise to the occasion and turn those regular plays into the big moments. So what do the Ticats have to do in this one? Before we get into the roster, just in general, last week you're talking about being more physical. This week, what is the strategy? Does the strategy change?
Damn, that was just me smacking. Yo, Courtney, we have to look. I'll tell you something about football, especially on these type of days when you got everybody on your side. Your goal as a football player on days like this is to get the fans to be like, oh, like that's all you want to do. And the fastest way to do that, Courtney, I'm not telling management what to do, but listen, I've been studying a little bit of football. I've been paying attention to the game. Look, our offense is coming out to slow starts. We're not picking. So what happens when the offense comes out to slow starts? I don't want them on the field first. Usually we like to take the ball. I don't want them touching the field first. Put the defense out on the field first. Say, hey, defense, you know what? It's Labor Day. Hamilton's built off defense. Y'all take the field first, and y'all go get a little quick 1 and 2. Not only a quick 1 and 2, and Kyle Wilson, when you tackle that guy, don't just try to tackle him. Put a little extra on him so the crowd can say, oh! And now the offense coming out, Bo Levi, he done been in a bunch of Labor Day games over there in Calgary. You know what I'm saying? So now Bo Levi coming on the field confident, like, okay, I know this feeling. I know what I got to do from here. And then you just take off. So the name of the game is still hit, Courtney, but the name of the game is defense. Let's get going fast and early, give the offense some confidence, and let Bo Levi win his first Labor Day Classic game in Tim Hortons Field.
Yeah, Tim Hortons Field celebrating 10 years of major events. It is the place that people come to see things that they never seen before, and I think this is going to be one of those days where something amazing happens. I know you got certain players on both sides of the ball who are having great individual seasons, and we're looking to put it together so that this team can turn it around, looking for that third win. The Ticats, of course, are 2-9 entering this game. The Toronto Argonauts are 6 wins, 4 losses. So the Ticats cannot afford to give away any more opportunities to win. A win here, of course, would be the second versus the Argos on the season. So the Ticats would actually get the leg up on the Argos should they later in the season pull into a tie with them. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There's no moral victories, but any chance you get to beat the Argos is a great one. So which individual players are going to have their biggest game on the biggest game of the year for the Ticats?
Courtney, that's such a great question. And you know what? I'm going to put this game not only on an individual player, but I'm going to put it on a groups of players. In this game, our secondary is going to have a great game against this Toronto Argonaut offense. What I've learned about the Toronto Argonaut offense is they're not scared to make mistakes. They trust their guys, especially with the quarterback that just came in with them. He loves a guy named Coxie. Coxie's a guy that's very confident against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and not just the sense of this year because of, we beat them this year, but he likes them one-on-one battles. He likes competing against the best players. Jamal Peters is one of our best players, and I know Jamal Peters is looking at Coxie like, I got to get some get back because, towards the end of that game, you had a couple of catches that I ain't really like. So our defensive backs, Jamal Peters is going to have a good, big game. Big game from Jamal Peters, And
I like Jamal Peters in the run and versus the pass. He is actually a total package DB, which some guys are one or the other.
Exactly. And yeah, a lot of guys don't like to tackle. And this game, you're going to have to tackle, especially in a Chris Jones defense, because Chris Jones, everybody has to play football because he's normally just a gap. And you know what happened to gaps? They move. And normally they move all the way outside to them DBs to come and make a play. So, I was so proud of the defense last week. They played a lot tougher, but the thing and the knock that's always been on the Chris Jones defense is like you get in second and long, it's a Chris Jones going to smack you in the mouth, but you got to stop that running game, and that you have to stop that running game. And who is going to have to stop that running game for us? That's our linebackers. We're going to have to play gap sound of football. We're going to have to see ball, get ball. I don't care if this is your gap. Wherever the ball is, you have to get there, because 160 yards is way too much that we gave up last week. Way too many rushing yards, 160 yards. So first group is Jamal Peters in the secondary. Second group, Kyle Wilson in the linebackers. And look, Tim White has to have a big game this game. What I noticed last week about when Tim White plays elusive, fun football, it permeates through the whole team. Like the whole team just feels it. Like I was watching Tim White cut back. I think the first half of the game last week, he accounted for a lot of the yards and a lot of the plays. And when he was playing well, we tend to play well. So I'm giving it to Tim White, Kyle Wilson, and Jamal Peters. They need to have great games, not only individually, but collectively as well.
Yeah, and Tim White is definitely a fire starter, a guy who, once he's breaking out, defenses have to adjust to him, which is going to trickle down and allow other people to get involved in the game. But when your best players are having their best games, it tends to be in the favor of the team moving in the right direction. Before we get into the offense deeper, though, Chris Jones has now been with this defense for a couple of weeks, and you saw some initial changes, potentially a little bit more aggressive in certain situations, and his guys maybe just rallying around the fact that there was a changing of the guard and they got to stand up and everybody's got to take a stand, draw a line in the sand, so to speak. And they played really tough last week. But does that Chris Jones effect start to really ripple out now that he's had a little bit longer time to have his hands on this defense?
It's going to be TBD, to be determined, Courtney. As we all know, we want to call it a certain effect when somebody comes in and somebody else starts playing good. But let's be completely honest. There's a fire lit under the player's butt because they know anybody can get fired at any time right now. And if you understand the concept of this game called football, once somebody gets fired on the defense, if your coordinator gets fired, now you have no options. Like, all right, yeah, some people may say it's the coordinator. Now, players, we got y'all a new coordinator. If it's still y'all, you know what that means? It's y'all. So the players are going to be self-motivated already just because that's the psychologic of football. You don't got no more breathing room. Like if somebody else say you're not playing well and then another coach come in and say you're not playing well, it's you not playing well. So the players better have some gas in their tank because that's just football. They're going to be playing for themselves. A lot of guys have to look in the mirror and be like, man, I got to give a little more. I got to give a little more. I got to do a little more. And it's not because a new coach came in. It's because they have to. That's just the facts.
It's a performance business. You always say it, man. This is a performance business, and you get paid to perform at the highest level. And that's exactly what the job requires today. So talking about this offense, Tim White, a guy who, man, when he's on, he can go crazy. He can break out. He could score from any part of the field. He's just that fast. So getting him into the offense, he usually catches a couple of screens. He might catch a post or a go route here or there. How do you think that this offense comes out when they do, in fact, get the ball? Do you think that they started out swinging for the fences, or are they going to spread it around? Typically, a lot of receivers, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers are going to catch the ball in this offense. If you were calling the plays, how would you start this game out?
It depends, Courtney. Like I said earlier in the show, I said if my defense is coming out first, then I want to pick the win. First of all, it might be a windy game. So, whenever it's a windy game, we call that 2-quarter football. So it depends what's going on, fans. When I say 2-quarter football, it gets very windy in Tim Hortons Field. So at times, we only playing 2 quarters of football. So I'll take it, since we're talking about the offense right now, I'll talk about the offense. So when the offense is playing 2-quarter football, that means they got to be careful. They can't take deep passes because the ball will sail and go to places they don't want. But when they're with the wind, that's when you tend to pass on all the downs, because that's your only shot you're going to have with the wind. So if I go out there, Courtney, and I'm going against the wind, you know what I'm going to do? I'm giving the ball to number 5. Find number 5. And then when the wind's not with us, woo, Tim White. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it has to be. Because when you're going against the wind, we got to get a lot out of number 5. And he's been producing. He's been everything with the price of admission. The young kid can play football at a high level.
Yeah,
and he's been doing a great job.
I like Greg Bell. Last week he was breaking tackles. He was getting to the edge. He was getting in space. Winning one-on-ones as a great running back, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to win a one-on-one in space. That's literally what you get paid for.
Yeah.
And, Ticats fans, you can thank Greg Bell, because today you're getting the game day special 10% off cowbells. So make sure you get one. Get your 10% off the cowbell so you can ring them. We need everybody as loud as possible at the
As
donut
loud as
box.
possible. Yeah.
And you know what? The ball hanging up in the wind is something that the Ticats will have a little bit more experience playing with than other teams, of course, because they deal with it every week that they play at home. And the ball hanging up there really does make a difference when you're throwing over 20, 25 yards. It can change the trajectory. So that's a great point you bring up there. So strategy of what plays you're calling, going which direction, is something that fans might not necessarily think about from up in the stands, but down on the field, it makes a big difference. So another thing in this game that would be affected by the wind is a kicking game. And the Ticats are going up against the best returner in the league statistically, Janarian Grant. This guy's found pay dirt many times this year. And the Ticats will remember because he scored a punt return touchdown against them in a game one time. So how do the Ticats use the wind, or even despite the wind, how do they play against a dynamic returner like Janarian Grant?
See, Courtney, you got to see it before you see it. So I talked to the punter, our young punter that we have, and I went up to him. I was like, hey, there was this time in 2014 where we had a baseball number score, and there was like a punt fest. It was going back and forth. It was a kicker game. That was the first football game I seen won by punters and kickers. The score was 13-12. Ticats won the game. I remember Swayze Water. It was just such a crazy game, and the kickers need to be prepared to win the game for the team. Lego, you have the leg up, no pun intended, to put the ball through the uprights when you can, and we need all of them. All the points this game will matter. Even Rouges, like, hey, sometimes we want the Rouge. And look, to your point, Jarius Grant is a very dangerous returner. This is what you do with returners like this on big days like this. Don't give him an opportunity to suck the life out of the place. Don't give him an opportunity. If he's over there, I'm kicking over there. If he's right there, I'm giving up field position for him not to have the ball in our hands in this kind of game. Because, look, I'll be completely honest. Our defense should have their way with the Toronto Argonauts offense if they're playing alignment assignment football, as you seen when we played them the first time. I know they got their money back. They're playing quarterback now, but at the end of the day, nothing really changes unless you change the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense. And I remember that week of practice y'all had going into that Toronto Argonaut game. So nothing will change unless you guys change. So we going to have to give up some field position to Jarius Grant, because that's the person that can quiet down a loud stadium, especially how loud it's going to be in Tim Hortons Field on Monday and today. I'm ready for it. But Get the ball away from Jarius Grant. Don't let him touch the ball. Like, just don't let him touch it. That's just the name of the game. Like, it's not nobody being soft. This is a big field, and that guy has proven time and time again that he's very good at his job on this big field.
Yeah, and on the other side, you're going to have Jordan Byrd for the Ticats, who I like this guy. He seemed to have a little bit of that extra gear that a returner needs. In this league, the one thing that you absolutely must have as a returner is flat out speed. It's a big field, and if you're going to break the angles, sometimes you break ankles, but when you got speed, you break angles. People think that they're going to run to a point and intercept you, but you just too fast, and the math is all messed up, and by the time they get there, you're long gone. He's got a little bit of that speed, so he showed some of the promise with a big return in the last game. I'm interested to see if the Ticats return game can get the blocking down to give him enough daylight, because that would be a big momentum swing in this game. And Simoni, since a couple episodes ago, you're talking about momentum. I've been paying very close attention to it. The momentum in this game is going to be an integral factor in how things go, coming out and starting fast. Now, the team, if they can do that, that's one thing. But holding momentum into the end of the game, is there a way that you as a player think about it when, let's say, the Ticats are up? It's the second half of the game. Let's say it's the fourth quarter. Do you want them to run the clock out, or do you want them to go out there with the mindset of scoring and putting the game out of reach?
Listen, the name of the game is to score points. So we want to score as many points so we don't even have to play football at the end of the game. The Hamilton Tiger Cats need to put 4 quarters of football together. And the way when I go into football games, I'm like this, Courtney. All right, first, second, and third quarter, we just out here. We doing what we do. We saying hi to everybody. We paying rent. Okay, I made a couple plays. That fourth quarter come, the mortgage is due. Hey, they got all kind of rent laws. They can't really put you out of your house, you know what I'm saying? But when that mortgage is due, they gonna come and take your house. So in the fourth quarter, you got to play like the mortgage is due. So you got to put a little extra on everything. You got to go get your picks. You got to make plays. There's no time for miscommunication. We have to close the game. And another way to close the game is running game. We see like a lot of people got to pay attention to the ebbs and flow of football. Last week, the defense did a good job. But the thing about it is whenever you get ran the ball on for 160 yards and that wears down defenses, that's a lot of tackling. So when that happens, it wears their defense down. So whoever gets that last drive at the end, it's tough.
Yeah. Actually, who I think had a great game last game was David Menard. He actually jumped off the screen to me.
Yeah.
Got in the backfield and was making some havoc. So he would be instrumental in exactly the phase of the game that you're talking about, in stopping the opponent when they're trying to run the ball. And on the Ticats side, Jordan Murray, the big right tackle, is back in the lineup. So you would hope to see some improvement there from the Ticats run game, because controlling the run when the clock is a factor is big. In the CFL this season, I've seen at least 5 games, some of which we were involved in, some of which other teams were playing, where there was 2 minutes or less in the game.
Yeah.
And the team who was winning had the ball and went on to lose the game. So what you're saying about crowd control, clock control, running the ball, all of those things are going to be big today. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. We could talk about all the different scenarios, all the different players. At the end of the day, you got to just go out there and find a way. There's no secret plays. There's no magic medicine that's going to get you over the hump. This is the time when the Ticats just got to decide that we want it more.
Exactly. That's all it is. Courtney, there's games that you understand that it don't got nothing to do with scheme. It don't got nothing to do with the plays called. It don't got nothing to do with anything but your effort. I've been on a reading journey, Courtney. So I was reading this one book, and it was telling me.
Hold on, Sim. You a big reader?
Yo, I go by the water and read books now, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to expand my intelligence, you know what I mean? So it's getting different out here for me. So like a lot of stuff just pops in my head when I'm talking from these books I've been reading. And 50% is just showing up. 40% is having great attitude. The other 10% is just being a dog, yo. And these kind of games is just being a flat out dog. That's just this 10%. You can put everything away in games like this. All you got to do is use that 10% and come and be a dog. And that's going to give you the advantage over everyone. If you can go into the game and say, hey, y'all, you know what? I know they pretty good over there, but I'm going to be the best player on this team today, and I'm going to cancel him out. If I'm Jamal Peters, I'm like, hey, y'all know he been making plays, but I'm better than him. I'm going to cancel him out. Don't worry about it. And everybody go and win they one-on-ones on a savage level, not on no regular level. Not, I won that one. I won that. You know how like you racing your little kid, Courtney, and you barely might win? Nah, this is one of those where you tackle your kid, teach him a lesson, like, hey, wait here, and you sprint and win and start dancing on him. You know? Like, that's the kind of level that you need to win on your one-on-ones on this game. So use that 10%, man. Use that 10%.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Reading is fun and fundamental. Words of Simoni Lawrence. Look, it is Labor Day. If you're going to make it to the stadium, matter of fact, even if you don't make it to the stadium, make sure that you get involved. All of us can win on Labor Day with that big 50-50 raffle. This one is in support of Hamilton Football Association, as well as some proceeds going to the Hamilton Bulldogs breakfast program that they run for all the kids in the city. So make sure you go and get a 50-50 ticket. Last year, someone brought home $73,000. I don't know about you, but I never made $70,000 in a day. That sounds like a great day's work for watching some football. Sim, go ahead, tell the people what it's like to make $70,000 in a day.
I mean, it feel real good. Shout out to Bob Young, Scott Mitchell. You know, back in the day, you used to get them signing bonuses. They used to look good. Them $70K, only getting taxed at 15%.
Come
man.
on now, go ahead and play that 50-50 so y'all can get your 50-50 signing bonuses. Tell them Simoni sent you. You can go to Ticats 50-50. That's TICATS 5050.ca. Tim, you got something to say, baby? Go ahead.
Look, y'all, we know that it's Labor Day. We don't got too much to say. Just like the boys better not have too much to say tomorrow. We know the kind of pride that we take in these rivalry games. We know how the kind of pride we take in these city games, especially when we bring the whole community together, because nobody brings the community together better than the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and that's just the facts. So on days like this, boys, buckle up your chin straps and put on a show. That's your job. Put on a show. It's time to put on a show because everybody in the city will be out there. There's businesses that are closing down just to come and watch football. That's just the way it is on Labor Day, and that's the way it is in Hamilton. And we're here to take care of business. And not only that, fans, look, me and Courtney, we've been doing so good on the podcast. TSN wanted us to come chill on the panel tomorrow for the pregame show, y'all. So all the Hamilton Tiger Cat fans come around the panel around 2 o'clock to 2:45. Your boy gonna be on the panel repping the gang, yo. I don't know what I should wear, though. Should I go suit? Should I go all black? I don't know. But I know my fans gonna be there. So shout out to Hamilton. Come around the panel and come say what's up, man.
You heard it here first. 2:30 kickoff at the Donut Box. It is the Ticats playing against the boys in double blue. It's another Labor Day classic, the 10-year anniversary of Tim Hortons Field. Be there, or I don't know where else you would be if you're not there. Listen.ticats.ca or ticats.ca/listen to catch the game on the Ticats Audio Network. For Simoni Lawrence, my name is Courtney Steven. Hey, I just want to remind y'all, life is like a sandwich. No matter which way you flip it.
That bread come first.
That was $70,000, baby.
70 G's. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I need another signing bonus like that, like yesterday.
Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Steven and Simoni Lawrence. Like, follow, and be game day ready.